I believe everyone has a story to tell. And I believe everyone deserves a little pampering. Welcome to Mannies with Grannies. I'm your host, Tiffany Marino. Join me while I sit down with a woman over 70 and get to know her while giving her a manicure. Welcome to this episode of Mannies with Grannies. Today, I'm here with Carroll. I got connected with Carroll through Facebook, and here we are today. I'm so happy to talk with you today, Carroll. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you.
We can take your hands out of here and get your manicure started. Okay. Carroll, how long have you lived in this home?
Oh, we moved in, let me think, 74. So we've been here quite a while. We lived over on Callender Street before we bought the lot here, and it's the next street over. It was all woods over here. There was one house, so he started cutting the trees and burning and so forth, but everybody has grown up over here since.
How did you and your husband meet?
I worked at the state hospital, and his mother was an aide up there. She was talking about her son, Eddie, and we all started kind of snickering. I thought, oh, I bet he's a winner. She said he was working in Sharon at the time. She had said he was going to come home for the weekend, and she said, oh, there's Eddie now. And I looked and I thought, oh my gosh, he's not what I expected. And he was tall and built real nice and good looking. That was the first time I had ever seen him. His sister-in-law was a nurse also, and I worked at Warren General part-time sometimes. She called and said, would you be interested in going out to a movie with my brother-in-law? And I said, okay. And so that was our first date. From there on, that was history.
Do you remember the movie you went to?
Moby Dick, and I thought it was terrible. I wasn't thrilled with that movie at all. But I sat there and watched it all.
What year was that?
We were married in 57, 56.
What was your wedding day like?
Oh, it was very nice. The weather was fine.
Tell me about your wedding dress.
Kind of plain. I got it in Buffalo, because I knew the shops up there. It was tiered in the back, and they fixed it so we could button it and it would be up. Just plain oval neckline. I like kind of plain things.
You mentioned that you worked at the state hospital and at Warren General. What did you do for work?
I'm a nurse, or I was a nurse. At Warren General, I worked just part-time. And even when I worked at the state full-time, I would go in on my days off to get money. We were going to get married, so we were saving our money. Up at the state hospital, I worked mostly with men. I was lucky. Men are much easier to work with than the women. Everybody will tell you that.
Why is that?
I don't know. Even in a general hospital, women are, put my bed up, put my bed down, fuss, fuss, fuss. Not the men. Oh, it's fine. Anything's fine. But I was lucky. I did work with men a lot. And when I retired, I really missed them. They were real nice, most of them. If you had problems, the other patients would help you out if you needed it.
Like what?
If somebody would be upset, they would come over and they would stand there and they would calm down. I liked my work up there. The way I got into it first was when we had the flood back there. I think that was around 56, somewhere around in there. I was home from Buffalo and they needed help, so I volunteered and I was up there for a while. So when I decided to move back to Warren, I applied and I worked there. The benefits were much better at the state hospital than at Warren General. I worked part-time at Warren General sometimes, but the state hospital retirement plan and so forth was much better. So I had 20 years in up there.
Wow, that's a long career.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. One story that I've told the kids many times, they would have smoking, but we had to give them the cigarettes and somebody had to go with them, and we had to go smoke them. So we had this one man, he was funny anyway, and he would say, "Miss Sweet, can I have a cigarette?" And I said, "It's not time yet." I said, "I'll let you know." Okay. Pretty soon he'd come back again. Mrs. Sweet, can I have my cigarette?" I said, "No, it's not time yet." And he was back again. And I said, "I'm going to change my name." And he said, "What are you going to change it to?" I said, "Maybe Jane Jones." He said, "Okay." Pretty soon, "Jane Jones, may I have a cigarette now?" And I said, "No, I'll let you know." But I thought that was pretty funny at the time.
So you had to go to college to become a nurse, right?
Yeah, I went to school in Buffalo, Millard Fillmore Hospital. I went from high school up there, and it was the old 3-year program. And we had classes at UB, and so we would go on the bus from the nursing home out to UB for some of our classes. But we had a lot of classes right at the hospital, too.
What year did you graduate high school?
1951, Warren High.
Did you know many other girls going to college at that time?
Yeah, a lot of my friends were going to college. Some went teaching, normal schools. My mother was a school teacher, but she never worked full time when my brother and I were in the picture. She did substitute teaching in the grade schools. I liked in Buffalo and made a lot of new friends, of course, up there. And I still have 2 of the girls that are same age as I am. We talk on the phone maybe once a month.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
What were you like as a teenager?
I was into plays. I did some acting in plays, and I was in the choir. I went to state choir when I was a senior. I liked choir more than anything. My first name, was Carroll. I don't know if you're aware, I use 2 R's and 2 L's in my Carroll. It was my mother's maiden name. And Carroll Fowler was the one that had all the musical things. And so the first day in high school, he said, "Would Carol Kottmeyer please stand up?" And I thought, oh my goodness, I don't know what I did. And so I stood up and he said, "Oh, I might have known." He said, "I saw the way you spell your first name." And I thought maybe it was another boy because Mr. Fowler's first name was Carroll. He was Carroll Fowler. And he thought that's what I was. I said, "No, it was my mother's maiden name."
So you got your name from your mother's maiden name.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have kids?
Yes. We had 3. 1 died, but we have 2 living.
What are your children's names?
The 2 living are Mark and Jeanette. Jeanette lives in now here we go. I'll get it in a minute. She's out of town. I knew I'd do this.
That's okay.
I'll think about it.
Yeah,
I'll get it. And Mark is here. Mark taught school at high school.
How did you pick out their names?
My husband, Ed, liked the name Mark, and he said if we ever had a boy, that's what he wanted his name. Our oldest daughter, the one that died, her name was Deneen. And when I affiliated at Sisters Hospital in Buffalo, there was a girl named Deneen Shanahan, and I don't know how she spelled it, but I liked the name. So that's why we named her that. And our youngest daughter is Jeanette. We just liked it. Nothing special, or not after anybody.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I had 1 brother. That was all. And he's deceased now. He was 4 years younger.
What was it like having a younger brother?
Oh, it was fine. I know when I was in school in Buffalo, I remember I worked up there a while after I graduated, and I had some money. I bought him a wristwatch, and he was all excited about that. He was still in high school here.
Tell me more about your parents.
Well, Mom, she never worked full-time when she had us kids. She substituted for the Warren School District at times, but she never worked full-time. And my dad worked at Walker's ice cream plant. Before I went to school in Buffalo that summer after I graduated, I worked down there and made popsicles. And that was kind of fun. And a couple of the other kids that worked with me, their parents, one or the other, had worked at Walker's too. So we all knew each other, and we had a good time. Jeanette lives in Georgia.
You knew you'd come up with it. There you go.
That's what I do. In a little bit, it'll come up. Yeah, she lives in Dahlonega, Georgia.
You know exactly where.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I've been there. Work, right?
I've been there.
You've been to Georgia?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Have you done much other traveling?
Ed and I traveled a lot. We've been in Europe several times, and Germany, and we were in Germany twice, and Ireland. We enjoyed traveling.
What was one of the favorite trips?
I liked Germany. I liked Ireland. We had real good times. When we were in Ireland, they talk about the pubs over there, and they're singing and dancing in Ireland, and that was a lot of fun, different from over here. But we enjoyed that. We also went up into Canada. We went on a boat and also train. Then it was time for the Stampede in Calgary. And so we went to Calgary Stampede, and that was interesting. We did a lot of traveling after we retired.
How long ago did you lose your husband?
10 years it's been, yeah. He was interesting also. Half the stuff around this house he made, he liked woodworking. So he would go down the basement. He'd stay there all day. We'd come up and eat, then away he'd go. In the other room, there's a horse that he made, and that was his favorite.
You'll have to see it.
Yeah, I'll show you that.
Would you like to pick out a nail polish color?
Yeah, I like pink. Something.
Nice, really light pink.
That's fine.
This one's pretty light pink.
Yeah, that's pretty too. He worked at Blair when he worked, and then when he retired, he liked his woodworking, and he was always making something. He made that clock up there, and he likes scroll sawing, and that's all scroll sawing. I talk to him all the time. I'm nutty. At night, I will always be talking or something, and I've had friends that say the same thing. But he had Alzheimer's. He was good for quite a while. And then when it really hit, he had to go into the hospital. And then he was in a nursing home. Luckily, he was only there 3 years and he died.
What was it like for you seeing your husband deal with Alzheimer's?
His dad had it too. And he and his brother, they had to go down and take care of his dad once in a while. His mother would call and say he won't take a bath, so they'd go down and do that. But Ed was pretty good. He wasn't real bad. He never was real belligerent or anything, so that was good. And then one day I remember he was in the living room there, and he said, I never thought I would live like this and be like this. And I said, actually, you do pretty good. So he was 83, I think, when he died. We had a good life, and like I said, luckily he never was really angry. He was really easy to get along with. One time he was going to turn, and he turned, and there was a car coming, and I thought, oh dear. So I drove home that day. Most of the time then I did the driving. And he said, "You don't like my driving anymore?" I said, "No, Ed, but this leg has been bothering me." And I said, "I think between the brake and the accelerator, I get exercise." "Oh, you're right." So from then on, no problem. He'd just get in the passenger side and I would drive.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Thinking back over your life, what do you think was your favorite time of your life?
Well, I enjoyed high school. I liked that. And of course, I didn't know him then. And then once I met him and we dated and got married and we had the kids and we enjoyed going to sports events. The girls were in color guard and we'd travel, go to all those things. We did a lot of things together.
When you were a kid, did you ever get into any trouble?
Well, I'll tell you, no, I didn't get in trouble, but I could have. I remember this vividly. We lived on Dartmouth Street, and at the corner of Parker, the next street, I went to Lacey's school. That's no longer there. That was where Surefine is up there now. But I remember in the wintertime, we took snow. I don't remember who was with me or how many, but we stuffed the mailbox in the corner with snow. And now, can you imagine? There's mail in there probably, and it would have ruined that. I could have gotten a lot of trouble, but we just put all that snow in and kept going to school. Never thought a thing about it. But when I think about it now, it was pretty bad.
Did you have any pets growing up?
We had a dog once. Our son Mark brought a dog home, and I wasn't real thrilled, but I let him keep it. I don't know why I didn't like animals that much, but I didn't.
Did you always have a car growing up?
Mm-hmm. Always. I took my driver's test when I was 16. All of us did, my friends. On our birthday, we went to AAA and got our permit. I don't drive now. I had a slight TIA last November, and I gave up driving, and I got rid of the car. So now I use the talk bus. Do you know anything about the talk bus?
Yeah.
I love it. They come right in the driveway and then take me to the Y.
What do you like to do with the Y?
Swimnastics. It's nothing too difficult. I don't get my hair wet and I wear my glasses. Now that tells you something. That's a good color. I like that. It's like, I don't like anything.
It looks really pretty on your skin tone.
Yeah, that's
I think we'll do one more coat. It's really light. So did you pass your driver's test on the first try?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember what car you took the test in?
No, I don't remember. It was our family car, but I don't remember what it was. Probably a Buick. My dad always had Buicks.
What is your age now?
90 tomorrow.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. They had a surprise party for me yesterday. I was stunned. Nobody had said a word, and in fact, I went to the mailbox yesterday and I thought, it's funny I haven't gotten a card from anybody. And I thought they could send me a card. Well, they had this big party and it was lovely.
I love that. That
was yesterday.
Sweet. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what a weekend.
Well, I know. And here I am getting my nails done today.
Would you like a little nail sticker decoration?
Well, I like it just plain, really.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do that. It looks nice and classy. So how does it feel to be 90 years old?
I have trouble walking now. I never would dream that I would use a cane. And as I said, once in a while, like I was trying to think of Georgia. But then if I wait for a few minutes, it comes up. So far, so good. I still can live here by myself and do banking, and I do okay with numbers and so forth. I've always enjoyed people. Even in school, I was in this club or that club, and even now I play cards. I go over to the senior center on Market Street with my friend.
So you think staying active is
Oh,
important?
yeah, definitely. Definitely. I miss my car. I really do. And I miss the driving, but I know it's the best thing. So,
What is something you would like younger people to know about getting older?
you got to keep busy and do things. You can't really feel sorry for yourself, I think. You have to have a positive attitude. Luckily, pretty much I've always been that type of person.
Well, we are complete our manicure. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
It's fine.
Great.
No.
This was fun getting to know you and hearing about you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me in your home today.
Oh, you're quite welcome. I've enjoyed you too. You and your husband both.
Thank you for listening to Manny's with Grannies. I hope you enjoyed learning about someone else and maybe even learned a little about yourself.